Hello everyone. The week 7 lecture included the learning and project linking, and we also learned about software engineering design. So, what I learned this week was the difference between architects and detailed design. And the design also comes from requirements. Software has structure, components, and relationships. So, going on to the next slide, it's architecture versus detailed design. On architecture, it's high level system structure. That means architecture has high level system structure and detailed design is more specific to components and modules. So architecture is like the topmost layer, but the detailed design is like including each and every components of the architect layer. And these all both come from the requirements. And in architectural styles, it concludes like clients have architecture, MVC model view controller, layer architecture, and three-tier architecture. And how this will be linking to my project, which is architecture, is I will be choosing the suitable architecture style with either MVC or three-tier architecture, and it will also help me to decide my system structure and identify the main components that are needed for the software development. So moving on to the next, it's functional decomposition. So it will help me to break the system into modules, and each modules will handle one function at least like so each function in the software development will control one function or have at least one function, one functionality or function. So this also helps to make the system easier to manage, and by the use of functional decomposition, we'll be able to manage each and everything easily. How this will help me to build my software project will be as like the application there, the application I'll be developing, I can split into different parts, into modules or whatever you call it, and I will have my UI module, my processing module, and my database module as well. So going on to next is database design. So which has ER diagram, entity relationship diagrams. I'll be creating the tables and use the primary and foreign key. So what is primary and foreign key is a primary key is a unique key in a database, and the same primary key is linked into the other table which is known as foreign key, which is also similar to the primary key, but it helps to link two tables and build a relationship between each other. And if we have a primary key, we can easily get connected with the other table by the use of foreign key. So how this will help my project will be, I'll be able to design a perfect database design which before coding, which is one of the most essential part of the software development. And it will also help to store my project data safely, and I'll be able to organize information properly by the use of the database. And database is the one of the most important thing that needs to be considered while building a particular software. And that's it. So let's go to the other slide, which is UML diagrams, and it concludes use case diagram, class diagram, and sequence diagram. And these are the type of diagram that is used to build a particular uh, like the overview scenario of the project, which use case diagrams mostly include like actors and entities, a lot of entities, their relations, and it should be concluded inside a box. There are different rules and rules that should be followed while making a use case diagram. And class diagram is also similar to use case diagram, but it has its own syntax, and same goes to the sequence diagram. So let's see how this will link to my project. UML, it shows system functions, show class relationship, and helps me to show the interaction flow, which is like um, the interaction flow usually means the data is transferred from a point to the endpoint. So it helps to show data. It helps to show the path that has been followed while the data is being transferred, the interaction has been following. So moving on to next. Um, we have UI design with the for flow of interactions types is CLI and GUI. CLI is command line interface and GUI is graphical user interface, as we all know. We'll also have prototypes, and let's see how this links to my project. UI is I'll be able to design a screen first. I'll be having proper plan for the user actions, and I'll also use low fidelity prototypes as needed. So let's go on to the conclusion, which is all design comes from requirements. Design helps to build a clear structure, and it helps or makes the project organized and professional. That was it, and that's all we learned in week 7 during our lecture classes. Thank you.